When the ice on Squam Lake in New Hampshire is at least 12 inches thick, workers at a rustic resort gather to take part in a winter tradition that's more than 120 years old. They harvest ice so that in the summer, guests of Rocky Walled Deep Haven camps can cool their water, soda, and beer bottles not in refrigerators, but in antique ice boxes.
Over on this side right here is where people can put their beverages.
It's one of only a handful of places in the country practicing the ritual for commercial purposes.
The camp's been around since 1897, and many of the families have been coming for generations. And people here who come here don't like to see much change. They like it to be a simple, quiet place, kind of like going back in time.
Ice harvesting from frozen lakes was a big business in the 19th century, but 20th century refrigeration techniques mostly killed it off. Home refrigerators and freezers started replacing ice boxes in the years after World War I. But at this resort, staffers and volunteers can harvest 200 tons of ice over several days in a typical winter. They load it into storage facilities until guests arrive for the summer season.
They set up everything yesterday, the ramp. Today we cut out the chute, and the big saw you see there cuts out 16 by 19 inch blocks. That it doesn't cut all the way through. We leave about an inch, inch and a half. So when we're ready to take the blocks out, we just pry them apart gently and then float the blocks down this channel to the bottom of the ramp, where I usually am the hooker. You grab this hook, you grab 5 blocks of ice at a time, and a winch helps me push the 5 blocks up, slides on the top of the ramp and into the back of the truck.
When it's all done, the group collects as many as 3,600 blocks of ice.
Obviously, spending this time and energy, we wouldn't have to do it. We could buy blocks of ice. But there's something about the pride, I think, that this place has in still being the place that still maintains that culture, that tradition. It's tradition.
Warren Levinson, Associated Press.